Kids, cover your eyes. It's a 25-20. I'm in there. Hello everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing green-white auras. With the leyline ban coming out, we are able to slow the format down just a bit. Instead of being dead on turn 2 and turn 3 against the aggro decks, oftentimes we'll be looking around like turn 3 or 4 if they have like a really good hand, which does help us spread out our deck and allow us to play a card once again like Calix. Calix is a dominant powerhouse in a deck that's full of auras, because it can be so good at copying it. So Calix is a card that's a little bit older now, but whenever Calix, Guided by Fate, or another enchantment enters the battlefield, we put a 1/1 counter on a target creature. We play a lot of enchantments, obviously. We play all these, and we get the kind of similar effect with the Optimus Scavenger. But other than that, let's read the rest of this. Whenever Calix or another enchanted creature you control deals combat damage to player, you may create a token that's a copy of a non-legendary enchantment you control. Do this only once each turn. So if we have the best enchantment aura we've gotten in a while, Sheltered by Ghost, which does come up today, attached to a creature like a Calix, and say that Calix then does combat damage, we can make a copy of the Sheltered by Ghost, attaching it back to the Calix, putting 2 copies of this onto the Calix, and have it exiling multiple things, which then gives it ward 4 and things like that. So Calix becomes a crazy card in today's games, but it also has the same kind of abilities. This one thing I talk about in the outro is some kind of cool trick that you can do with this deck is Ethereal Armor. So Ethereal Armor gives your creature first strike, and when this says whenever Calix creature deals combat damage to a player, you make a token that's a copy of an enchantment. So first strike works differently than normal strike. Obviously, the first strike damage happens first. So say we have an Ethereal Armor on a Calix, and say we have a Scavenger attacking behind that, right? So Calix is going to deal the combat damage first. So Calix will then trigger because it's an enchanted creature. We can then copy the Ethereal Armor and attach it onto the Scavenger. And that is like a big +5 swing, because if we're just saying this is all that's in play, we have 1 enchantment, 2 enchantments. So this is a +2 plus whatever counters have been distributed otherwise. But then another Ethereal Armor enters, and we attach it onto the Scavenger because Calix has already done its damage. That Ethereal Armor gets attached to the Scavenger. That'd be a minimum +3 plus 2 counters from Calix and the Scavenger itself. So that'd be a +5 point swing in after the damage has already kind of been secured there. So it's definitely a cool, neat trick. That trick doesn't show up today, so I'm bringing that up as a kind of option that you should look out for if you want to try out this list. Other than that, Sheltered by Ghost is obviously the best aura we have in our deck, and the unique card that we're playing is the Archivist here. It has 2 different modes. If an artifact enters, we put 2/1 counters on it. That is our Skrelv is kind of the only way to do it, but the main thing is all the enchantments entering to draw us cards is what we're looking for, because we have plenty of ways to put counters on it regardless, with the kind of Scavenger, the Calix, the Innkeeper's Talent. Audacity can do it. We're mainly using this as a draw engine in our deck, but the card that shows out today in today's video is this Guardian. A card that is on the chopping block for next rotation, but whenever it enters, or whenever we enlist, it scries too. Not a huge relevant part of why we like this card so much, but discard a card, it gains indestructible until end of turn. And my is indestructible, super annoying if you also have a Sheltered by Ghost attached to the Guardian. Nothing like making Go for the Throat cost 4 mana and then saying, you're not removing it, and just giving it indestructible for 1 card. It becomes a big relevant part of today's video. This card becomes a 25-20 at some point in this video, so that's something to look out for. It has the big bonks. It had an Atraxa underneath it at one point. It's super cool. And with that said, we're going to go ahead and dive into the video. If you all enjoy my content, please consider subscribing. I think this deck's really, really good. It at least felt really good today. So outside of that, let's go check out how well it can actually do against the ladder. All right. Well, we definitely can keep this one for sure. Skrelv, Sheltered. I don't really want to put it on my Skrelv, but if I have to, we don't know what deck we're against. We might be throwing it on the Skrelv. Oh, never mind. Don't have a Sheltered. Smile. Don't have one. Don't have one. Don't have one. I'm only begging, please. Ooh. Well, here's the interesting thing. We have to answer that Manifold Mouse. So it's definitely the creature of choice here. Then we attack, of course. Not a whole lot of reasons to leave it behind. And then I can play this brush land, play this talent, level it up, put a counter here, and then give us additional ward. And then we can play the... Sure. Like, this doesn't bother me as much. Like, monster strays and things like that and that nature aren't necessarily devastating. I mean, they're good. I could play this. Sure. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of damage that I have to try to keep up with. But we're still basically at 20 after this turn. Well, for this enchantment will enter. Counter here. We'll level this up just so our thing is a little bit more protected. And then we'll attack for 5. And now we're back to 21. Who would have thought Shelter by Ghost being the kind of mirror breaker-ish. And then I can level it up again, which will double my counters I put on it, I believe, right? If you were to put one or more counters on a thing, put twice that many counters. All right, sweet. Well, we're not going to do that. Put the old archive guy in. Let's play a Skrelv here. Very sweet. Obviously putting the counters here. Not really another reason to do anything else. Then I'm gonna get in there. Should I go for max damage here? I guess so, right? Because, like, I don't know how... Like, 8 damage is a lot to beat. And I draw a card, so sweet. We're at 2, and I go to 22, and it's like, beat me, I guess. Now, obviously, they can pump it a ton and fling it at me. That is definitely an option. Ethereal armor multiple times could do it. Oh, no. You got another ethereal armor? Oh, no. Am I dead? You have a fling. No. Okay, we got it. Sweet. I'm just gonna go straight to combat. Yep. And we get there. There's a lot of ways this game could have gone differently if they find a shelter, if they have the fling, if they have a lot of things. If they're even playing the fling, who knows? I've seen these decks not play it. I've seen them play it. I played it mine, I guess. Opponent goes first. Turn 1, turn 2? Do I not play the Skrelv early? But I might need the Skrelv to put counters on this, right? I don't know. It's like a weird... It's a weird situation. Kind of, I guess it depends what I'm up against. If it's aggro, I might need Scavenger to keep up. And the red-white land kind of implies that. So I'm in there. Now, this could be Boros Control. Which is everybody's favorite. And Skrelv is good in that match. Maybe we'll find an aura here to protect. Yeah, so it's Boros... It's Boros, the Gathering. Innkeeper's Talon's good. Yeah, I'm gaming, bro. I don't know. Oh, Torch is now shut off. Smite could be possible. They have it, they have it. I'm an aggro deck. No think, only do. Temporary lockdown me, please. Oh, no. It's what they got, isn't it? Oh, no. Sweet. All right. These Skrelvs, though. Not a fan. Not a fan of this gameplay. Nothing like a legendary 1-drop. The one that can attack is going to get buffed. My opponent hasn't done anything, which makes me feel like they have a lockdown, but I can't imagine they would have just left their whole turn unprotected like that. Okay, they just have nothing. Like, actually, you know what? I think they were just aggro, but they didn't have a creature. And they were like, my hand's insane if I just find a creature, and they didn't find one. Because there's no way this is Boros control. And they have 0 plays up to turn 3. I mean, we have Urbrass Forge, we have Caretaker's Talent, we have the Carrot Cake, we have Lightning Helix, we have Get Lost. We have all these cards that they could be playing, and to do nothing, this had to be aggro. And they just didn't have a threat. That's the only, or the weirdest Boros control variation I've ever seen. Interesting. We will keep getting off with my non-snow covered basic. Snow covered lands are my favorite, by the way, if you're curious why I played the snow covered basics. We have protection, so I guess playing this is fine, right? Am I getting my scrub cut down? This figure, okay, that works too. Here's my one, go ahead. I have an O1. Please leave him alone. Here's my Skreld. I have Audacities, but I think they have removal, so I'm just gonna wait. Oh. Here, I guess. Have counter spell. Okay. It gives us some information on what they're doing. They're more of a mid-range pile than anything else. The protection, now we definitely go for it. Go bonk for sure. I need to read how this works. Choose a color. Another target creature you control gains toxic and hexproof from that color. It's not protection. Okay, that matters a lot if you don't know how protection works. Protection is a very cool mechanic. Here, I guess. We're in. And then we just hold. We just play around deadly cover up. If I can. Sure. So protection works in a weird way. This is not protection, so me saying it is a little loose term, but we kind of understand why I'm saying it. Protection gives a thing complete, it's going to sound redundant, but it gives complete protection. So for example, if I say give this protection from white, this white aura would actually fall off, which is interesting. I mean, it could be a sorcery speed removal. So we name black. Combat. Yeah. Oh, we get there. Unlucky. But, I mean, for us, lucky. But, you know. Yeah. We just really want to hit a land here. Even though, like, our hand is still technically slow. Haughty Gem pile or mono blue Haughty Gem. Okay. Blue white Haughty Gem pile or mono blue Haughty Gem pile. It is different. Now this is going to be the weird part where, like, do I jam a Calix here? I guess so. I mean, I have two. If there's one to get counterspelled, this one's fine. It's also an enchantment. I guess here. Calix is obviously a little bit more of a mana drain situation, so we opt for that. We attack for 1 singular damage. All right. All right. It's I lied. It's not the Haughty Gem pile. It is The big Tolarian Terror playing the up the beanstalk bounce synergy pile. Yes, sir. Protection spell off the top, please. No. Okay. If I get sheltered by ghosts is fine. No. Just resolve. Sure. Sheltered by ghosts on Calix has to be insane, by the way. Okay, taking this copy of none. Take the action. Yeah. My Calix now has ward 4. Bro, sheltered by ghosts with Calix has to be insane. Like, this is crazy, bro. They cannot bounce this. Like, sure, they can bounce it sheltered by ghost, but then I hit them again and I get another shelter by ghost. So it's just like this weird thing that they have to now deal with. No bargain because it can't. Sure. Go get that land. That's fine. That's a Tolarian Terror. That's fine. I have trample and a way to make this. Oh, mamma mia. Yeah, I guess. I only have 1 green mana though. So I guess I should prioritize just making this Calix an absolute fiend. They're like, no, I got trample. It's fine. You ain't got enough to protect you from this, cuh. Bro, this thing is a 15-11. This thing is massive. And like the thing is like, sure, it's 1 creature. They can bounce it. Brother, it got ward 4. They have to play a land and then bounce it, but I'm making another sheltered by ghost, giving it ward 6. Like I'm making sure it never gets removed. Like that's my whole plan. That is absurd. Very sick, very cool. Calix is dope with the auras. I've kept on this a couple times so far and it's been like okay. Would this be fine too? I mean, we could try it, right? I haven't played much of this version of auras, so like, back your lane. Be secretive. White. Ah! I should have known. Okay, never mind. I have no idea what's going on. Okay, we're squirming emergence. Fine. That's fine. Which typically means this will probably be fine to stay and play. Oh, man. I don't think Skrell's worth it. I think I have to be efficient here. We have to turn on the pressure a bit. Does it get ward in some way? Whenever artifact 1/1 counter on it. I don't know. They could set me back a turn. That'd be sick of them. I would love that. I would hate to be efficient, you know. You don't have to do that, opponent. You just don't. Like, you just don't have to do that. A land draw is best draw here, so I can actually open up my hand a bit. Right now, we're a little constricted. Just no one, dog. That scared of a no one? It's a reasonable one to be afraid of. We'll play Guardian. This one, I can give protection. Which kind of opens up the hand, too. I guess this isn't a bad draw, if there was a draw to not be bad. But something like a disfigure and things like that still work if that's what they're on. There's a surveil land. Squirming emergence should be close. 1, never mind. It's pretty far. It's 4. I guess that's 5. I guess they could bring back a Jace if they'd like. Look at the top. Okay. Top 3. I think I said top 5, but it's definitely top 3. Okay. All right, game. Listen here, dude. I need a little bit more than what's happening, but I don't think I can wait forever. I think I have to start doing some stuff here. Like, I don't think I have time for a Skrelv at this point. Skrelvs are my discards. When it was this card, I think Skrelv was fine because Skrelv can give me draws or humps and things like that. Elishnorn, ETBs. There's an Atraxa, which we can put under a Sheltered by Ghost, so it's not that big of a concern. Other than the fact that obviously it gets to enter the battlefield. Sure. Another one, another Atraxa, better Triumph for removal. So we have to hit a land here, I think. Or we're dead regardless, I think. Well, I guess this has protection, right? So it doesn't really matter. That weird thing where I can just like ensure that it doesn't die, right? Yeah, it gains indestructible, so you can pay the ward and everything, but I just don't care. I can then give it indestructible after they pay the ward. Maybe something they thought about, maybe something they didn't think about. Not sure. Elishnorn can come into play, but we have another Ethereal Armor to kind of outgrow that Elishnorn. Yeah, so double ETBs. That's fun. Double triggered ETBs, so it's not double counters. It's been a while since I've seen Elishnorn. Now they can try to remove this on my turn, but I have ward, so it doesn't matter. So like removing it on my turn does nothing. I think they just realized that. A land, please. Well, I guess 2 Ethereal Armors is also just good, right? I'll play that, and I'll just do this. Hey, man. I would like to swing a big dude. It's lethal. They have to block, and it has trample. And weirdly enough, this isn't enough. Elishnorn must be the caretaker for sure. We're in there, and then we pass, and now we can just give this indestructible for a while. And it has first strike, so something like an Atraxa doesn't even gain them life here. Doesn't give hexproof, right? It's just indestructible. Yeah. Guardian, everything's riding on you. Like, you are the only win condition we have. Honestly, a very good win condition. Like, I know I said land was best draw because it opened up our hand. Guardian might have been best draw at that point. Yeah, like, the problem is they're just dead here. Doesn't matter. Like, that's a 13/13, but I have another Ethereal Armor and a Rescue to grow my creature much larger than it already is. I mean, that just makes sense. But if you look, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 auras on here. This is +5. Yeah. So, another Audacity. Kids, cover your eyes. It's a 25/20. I'm in there. Bonk. Wow. Is this what the auras were supposed to do, unlike what we do with Boris? Like, it feels like I'm playing Light Paws again, and it's so great. But Guardian finding a way back into the meta against a deck that would obviously have plenty of answers in their hand, as we can see, but Guardian just always having indestructible, us having fodder cards in hand, and that's not 3 Ethereal Armors. You didn't see anything. There's nothing there. Well, if there's a creature to put a Sheltered by Ghost on, Guardian is probably, from what I've learned, the best one. And we have a good card. And we're on the play. So, we should be fine. What's like Ward 2 if not Ward 6? You know what I mean? That's a scamp. That's fine. Land best draw now, for sure. The reason land's best draw is because getting to play this with a Shelter by Ghost, growing my Guardian into an absolute monster is awesome. Okay. Well. Yes. If I can freely remove this, I will. It'll cost me a card, but I will gladly do that. We know what our hand is. We know what we have to do. That is mine. And this is a no attack. We have indestructible in this. We just protect ourselves. We hide in our little pillow fort and pretend like everything is okay. Yes. Monstrous Rage is +3. Again, I can always give this indestructible, so it doesn't matter what they really throw at it, right? Like, I'm much better protecting here than I am letting it trample over, because they can't kill it. They have to do a -X effect. Alright, so we know it's going to kill the Guardian, so let's just do this and get this out of the way. Yeah. This Sheltered by Ghosts, I think, is the best card in hand. And if I could just keep doing it, give it double lifelink if you would. We're already blocking, so here's 5. And they'll make a little 2/2 after. So realistically, after this combat, if this is all that happens, we take 2 damage. The Guardian's messed up. Guardian might be the future. I'm learning the Guardian's insane. Like, it's so wild. These free blocks like this are absurd. All right, Monstrous Rage comes in. I still kill this, and I only take 5 here. Unless they have a way to protect it. Okay. That's fine. It's like not fine. Like I go to 15, and then I go to 5. Hey, that card's banned, but they didn't play it, so I don't have to worry about it. I'm gonna take your last card too while I'm at it. That's mine. It's a land. I could attack here and go to 9. I don't really think there's a ton of ways I can die from here, so I'm gonna attack. In turn. Like, obviously they could play the 2-mana mouse to get that has haste and then maybe Monstrous Rage it or something, but it doesn't kill me, and they would need a land plus another spell to like get there, so I'm fine. Plus they already did 2 Monstrous Rage. Upsetting. Arena, when you announce you're banning this card, let's ban it. Thoughts? You think they hit me when I Shelter by Ghost this? This thing got Ward 4, bro. You can blow fire it if you'd like, or shock it if you'd like. I can't believe I still think shock's like a legal card. Sure, that's fine. My turn. Audacity's sick. Again, I think like a situation pretty impossible to lose now. I will gain 7. I could have enlisted this, but I just don't think it's worth having a 1/1 blocker if they can't give trample or whatever. There's like no case I lose. Like it is over. But I do think, obviously we saw the ley line. I do think it didn't matter though. Like with how good our hand was, like these Shelter by Ghosts were insane. And because of how Guardian works, it'd be one of the few ways we just exile Leyline. But most of the time, I'm going to cut Leyline because the ban's supposed to be today. I don't know where it's at, but I'm doing all my recording for Vegas right now because I have to, because the ban's today. But brother, let me out. Like, please. Yeah, we'll keep here. Putting on first is obviously a little tough. But we have Scavenger, this. If we hit a land, we have Calix. If not, we have this to protect our stuff. So, we'll see what's up. We don't know what we're against. It didn't give us a lot of info, but this makes me think it's the Hottie Gen pile. The eyeball. Yeah, okay. So, we got our answer. We got our answer. Play this. No counter spell available. It's probably just a bounce spell, which is fine. A Calix will be nice. No! So that's already 2 down. So likelihood of them having another is not like super high. Another Surveil here. Please don't hit the eyeball. Well, it's a helping hand, so they obviously have one of those in hand. I feel like that's pretty clear cut. Now I feel like they obviously have the like a counter spell, so I'm gonna opt to play the Archivist here, and I'm in there. Whenever one of them are, it's enchantments that I draw a card, and I already hit a land, so I'm not too worried about doing it right now. No! Hey, very cool. As long as there's not anything in there until I find my Sheltered by Ghost, I'm fine. Put nothing in there, please, Smile. I know I'm begging, but I need you not to do it. A Haughty Gen's fine. The other one is not. The other one is a little more unbeatable for us. The eyeball just generating value immediately is so hard. Yeah. They have it, I guess, right? You have a bounce spell, you have a bounce spell. I'm like fine with them bouncing this. Sure. So it doesn't time walk me. This one. Counter. Draw. Dang. Miss land. It's fine though. The problem is I can't keep hoping they miss, right? Because eventually they're going to hit. They're already 20 cards deep. They might even have to cast it the hard way. They might spend 3 mana for a 14-3. There's an eyeball. Okay. Or it's getting a little tough. Getting a little tougher, team. Yeah. Sheltered by Ghost, Smile. We have it, right? Not quite a Sheltered by Ghost, that's for sure. Put this on here. Oh, I guess I gotta put it on Calix, right? Guardian's sick, but it doesn't give hexproof at all. Are you gonna let the damage happen? Okay. So I can guarantee a little more value here. All right, to 11. Take the action. I feel like I did that right. It felt like I was doing it wrong, but I have 2 massive creatures they now have to deal with. They both have trample. Chart of course. Okay, they're digging. That's the thing with the bouncing immediately against an aura is that I understand because I was trying to. Well, no, the second time they didn't blow anything out. They just bounced it to time walk me. Okay, 3 steps ahead. Obviously not the best card of all time right now. Well, how's your eyeball doing? Oh, they find another one. Okay, I take a draw. There's a land that's huge, actually. Again, with the opening of the hand, 1 white, no reduction. It could be like a smite or something. All right, we'll play the better land here. What do we got to do? We have 5. We can definitely get up there in terms of damage. Huh. I guess we play here. Tap this to cast this. I put a counter here, of course. Sheltered by Ghost. That's huge. Auto pay. Giving our thing a ward here. And we're making it large enough to kill both of these. And it has trample, so a block here and a block there. Sure. They have very few bounce effects left. And there was a Haughty Gen under there, so that's tough. But they probably have a helping hand or 2 in hand. Or a recommission, things like that. Haughty Gen's honestly the worst one of the 2 to bring out. I hope they tap all the way out. That'd be sick. Actually, Haughty Gen apparently is nuts. There's no way they have the last into the Flood Maul, right? They could have 3 steps ahead for counter magic, too. With this land, we might even put a Calix on the stack. Oh, man. Okay. I think they only do that if they don't have an answer, right? It can't be that, right? All right, so we have to skip combat this turn for a reason here. So we put a counter on this. for the ward one. We get the ward one. No. Now we do this. So they pick lock, sure. Helping hand goes to hand, sure. Now this comes in, we exile the Hottie Djinn. We put a counter on this. And then we play a creature if we can. And no protection here available. So I guess I just go for... I guess Calix, because Calix can do the most kind of removal. And we'll just make Calix a little bit larger here. And it becomes now also has ward. They have 20 cards left. They can reanimate a lot. But as long as we can find a way to give trample, which I guess technically I don't have. But they have 4 cards in hand. They have a helping hand, but that enters tapped. So there's a Hottie Djinn to reduce their mana situation. You have a bounce spell. You have the last one. I mean, it's possible. They're 20 cards deep. Oh, Soul Partition can do it as well, I guess. Now this Hottie Djinn comes back available. I mean, it's ward 3. They have to use all their mana here because of this. I guess I probably should have played the talent and did that instead. That's a 17-4. And a land draw is actually enough to lose the game, huh? They're forced to block, I think. I say that, but I'm not even confident in that. Here. Here. Yeah, we just fall a little short here, I think. Unless they block and they don't have an answer. Which, the good game seems like they have the answer. Yep. Get her done, brother. Moment of truth, I just need one more spell. I feel like we had that. It's a little tough. I mean, that's some foresight I have to have for this. And there's last spell, so they have it. I'm just going to concede now. I feel like if I don't know, man. Oh, man, that's tough. It's kind of annoying. Because, like, it would have been just enough that they wouldn't have got the other one in play. I don't know. They also didn't have to block either. But they blocked for whatever reason. All right, well, we end on a loss, but I feel like that game with the Hottie Djinn pile definitely could have gone either way if, like, they got through so many cards. But the thing is about that game, though, is if, like, maybe we have a Shelter by Ghost a little bit early, if they don't necessarily have as many bounce spell earlies, but the opposite is true, right? If they were able to mill something a bit quicker and reanimate it on turn 2 or 3 or whatever they needed to do, like, am I in trouble there? And it's kind of a reverse kind of thought process there that we have to go through sometimes, where it's like, of course we could have won that game, but our opponent could have also won it a little bit easier as well. But here's our stuff. Here we are. We're playing very minimal creatures, as you can tell, as we have these auras in here. The only card that I think is questionable, because I think the card value will go up, or the card stock value will go up on the Nowhere to run, if somehow we don't know what that card is. Nowhere... Oh, Nowhere's... I feel like Nowhere on the card is one word. Nowhere to run. And that is a black card. I think the stock for this card is going to go up post Leyline here. With Leyline gone. So this deck is definitely going to have a little bit of struggle with that, because obviously this doesn't work. This doesn't necessarily work, so the value of Calix is kind of down. But I think this deck, green-white, definitely has a lot of legs. We have a few things that can come in earlier than what we had right away. If we type in Ward, we can argue the Armadillo can be played. If we think Skrelv's bad, because Skrelv also doesn't beat Nowhere to run. That's kind of one of the things. And then the green creature here, I guess I can remove the black because we're not playing that. But like this creature is also a good shout as it does have that ward. But a card I'm definitely impressed with in the deck more than anything is how good the Guardian was. I think this card absolutely crushed the matchups that we got to put it in play. It became a 25-20 or something like that. Absolute massive. And Calix, being able to make copies of Sheltered by Ghost is not okay. Like, just straight up, it is not okay of a thing that we have that we're allowed to do legally, I think. So, other than that, it's very cool. Good to see Calix kind of shine again. It lost a lot of cards whenever rotation actually happened. But with Leyline gone and us being able to actually kind of develop out our games into turn 3, turn 4 without being guaranteed dead on turn 2 or 3, it's definitely going to make the games a little bit more fun to play. And Calix can have a little bit more time in the sunlight here as it can start copying all these enchantments. And when Ethereal Armor is live and legal, Calix becomes insane because now we have first strike opportunities. So a thing that can happen is if Calix has a Ethereal Armor, it never came up today, that's why I'm explaining it here. If Calix has Ethereal Armor on it, we can have the first strike damage happen, and then we can copy the Ethereal Armor because Calix will trigger there immediately. And then we'll put the Ethereal Armor on, say, like a creature like the Scavenger that's swinging in behind it. Now Ethereal Armor gets attached to that, and then we get an enchantment to enter for 2 more counters to go on to the Scavenger plus the Ethereal Armor boost, which is going to be obviously a lot. It's just Ethereal Armor and Calix alone is +2. Put another one on, now it's +3, plus the 2 of the triggers entering, which is +5. So the first strike happens, making this significantly larger if that's the case. This is one of the cool things you can kind of have happen with first strike damage with something like a Calix. So outside of that, I'm going to call it there. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.